This week on Adventures with Peps, we are painting a Judge Dredd Warlord Games Cursed Earth Raider miniature. I'm going to use this as the boss of my warband, and as you can see, he is a beautiful pink Mutie. He's got an assault rifle and a jump pack and a belt full of grenades. Here's how I painted him. Hope you enjoy, and remember to like, comment, subscribe. So here he is, simple white primer. Nothing fancy, it's from Home Depot, it's your classic white matte finish. Made sure to get a good coverage on him. And we are going to kick things off with purple alchemy. This is obviously going to be the base coat for the skin. And we are just loading up the brush. We're going to make sure we hit a face, hit the hands. And I didn't realise, but he had a tail. I did not notice it at all on the model. It's very clearly in the photos, so I think I'm just being stupid. But he looks amazing. I also weirdly felt like his chin was a high collared coat. So as you see throughout the video, I've cut the pink too high. It's actually a part of his chin, but I end up making it as part of his jumpsuit for some reason. It's only afterwards when I was looking at the Warlord Games pictures that I realised it was actually part of his lumpy chin, but that doesn't matter. He still looks good. Why did I pick pink as a skin color? I have no idea. The model on the website has this like purplish pale skin. I didn't want to do that. I wanted something bold. I wanted something a little bit more comic booky. This one's going to be bright pink. I think his cohort is going to be a bright green. And then there'll be a couple of blue characters. I just wanted to mix it up. Everyone having your standard skin colors is a bit boring, especially for comic book stuff. So I wanted them to stand out. Let me know in the comments what you think when you see him at the end. I might actually start the video off with a picture of him, so if you've already seen it, feel free to comment now. The tail is so much fun to paint. It's super ribbed. Takes the speed paints really well. And then on the back it had these weird nubbly warts, I guess. It's gonna look great once the paint dries on it. I'm really loving this tiny detail on it. It's very cleverly done. I think I'm gonna name the Raider gang after the Blood Pack assassin squad that goes after Gaunt Ghost in the later novels. So I'm going to have to work out what he's going to be called. But there's a few names that pop to my mind. So there's the original, the master sniper from the Blood Pack, Sal. He's not really a sniper character, so that doesn't seem to fit in my mind. You then have Patterson and his two weird child psychers. I don't think these models fall into that category just yet. There's some weird lizards. And then there's, oh, hang on, we're moving on to Runic Grey. Gonna use this on his weapons. There was a Dark Elder Mandrake by the name of Skarwael, which I feel is a good name for this guy. There was also a Death Machine, but I might save that for the giant bike. So the Runic Grey, you know the score by now. I hate using metallic paints, but I have just seen that Speed Painter are releasing Speed Wash metallics. Will that change my mind? Most likely not. But for now, I'm a Runic Grey, so I'm going to pick out these grenades that are on his belt here. I'm going to pick out the belt buckle, and of course the assault rifle. So yeah, currently I am thinking of calling him the Phantom Skarwael. It sounds like a Mutie name. I'm going to struggle with the others, I'm guessing, because the 9, there's not actually a lot of names amongst them all, but we'll work it out. But yeah. That pink, it's already dried, super bright, and I'm loving it. It's popping against this Runic Grey, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So whilst I finish this up, let's just skip forward a little. So we're now working on his jetpack. I have yet to use a jetpack in game, or any actual mount in game, so this is a new piece of equipment to me. It gives him plus 3-inch move. He can fly over any terrain that is less than 6 inches in height, or he can fly over terrain up to his actual movement value, so he can go pretty high. It doesn't affect his shoot, his fight, his evade goes up by 1, his resist goes down by 1. But if he is shot, he has to make a test, which if he fails, he counts as falling. He'll take a power 3 hit, which is pretty brutal, and then he has to set it up again before flying, which takes an action point. It's an interesting piece of kit. I'm worried it's gonna actually hinder him. I have watched a couple of battle reports with Muties with these jump packs, and yeah, they get obliterated when they start taking hits, but they can move around so quick, they can ambush, they're very fast moving. We're going to move on to Cloudburst Blue now, which will be his jumpsuit. Yeah, it's an interesting gang in the sense that if you want to use them, they all have to be mounted. So they've got to come on in bikes, they've got to come on in cars, or have the option to come in a car. It's a strange one, because you could have, in theory, a couple on surf skyboards that are like surfboards. There's the dual bike, which was part of this kit. There's these jump packs. But you could also just purchase a vehicle and load up the vehicle. You could have like a clown car, try and crush as many muties into a speedster as you can. Pulls up on the scene, everybody jumps out and starts fighting on foot. But yeah, it's a strange group. I feel like you'd want to use the jump pack to get forward really quickly, but keep them in cover. And once you're at that location, they go on the floor, take off the jump pack. Don't risk getting hit. And if they need to escape, they just put it back on and fly away again. I feel that's how I would play them. I've got a few of these models to paint up. Plus I got some of the old 2000 AD Games Workshop Muties that I want to get painted. Once I've got them, I should have a pretty sizable gang. Any Mutie that's not going to be flying is most likely just going to use a street perp rule. And we'll treat their mutations as purely cosmetic. I feel like even in Judge Dredd, it's very rare that a mutation will be of something useful. Even on this guy having pink skin and a tail probably isn't that helpful to him. Probably helps with flying. But yeah, most of the mutants have abilities that I think would hinder them. These aren't the Age of Marvel. They're not gaining superpowers. These are going to be hindrances. So we're going to play it like that in my head. As always, if you're watching this, make sure you look at the community tab, as I will be posting rules for the Games Workshop RPG as well, which will let you play them there. Hardened Leather is up next. Can you guess where this is going? If you guessed the coat, you're spot on. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to skip us forward, but I'm making sure to load up the recesses and get plenty of wash into it. And with these final touches, we have a finished coat for now. It's really starting to take shape. You can see his silly, in my head, full out jumpsuit. We got the nice brown leather coat going on now. He obviously wraps up when those rad storms hit. Got the pink skin. He is looking sharp. Now we're onto the dark wood. I'm going to use this in a few spots. The main one is going to be his boots. So I'm going to get it on his boots, and then his belts. We're also going to use it on the coat, because his coat has a lot of details to it that I don't want to waste just with the one colour. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I'm going to try and pick out the lines in his coat buckles. And of course, his workman boots had to be done in a nice dark leather. Now I wanted to show this because I didn't leave much time between the layers drying. As you can see, I'm fully able to paint a speed paint over another one. They're not bleeding into each other. There's no bleedage happening. It's also going on very smoothly. I'm not wiping away any paint. It's not affecting the color of this darker brown. It's going on really well. So I don't know about the bleedage issue. It has happened with some paints in the past, don't get me wrong. But I feel like if you give it enough time, you don't actually have to worry. Now if I was maybe rubbing a lot harder with the paintbrush, might be a different story. But currently, seems to be working fine. So I hope this helps answer the question, because I've had it a few times now. Bleedage is not an issue for me. Right, with the coat drying, we're going to move on to my favourite colour to continue his Fallout jumpsuit, the Zealot Yellow. I am a big fan of this yellow. I wish I had it when I first started doing my Aiden Eldar. Would have made life a lot easier. As you can see, I'm hitting up his knee pads. I just want them to pop. Also fits in with my idea of him looking a little bit like he's from Fallout. Also hit up his eyes. In every photo I've took, you cannot see his yellow eyes. So it's pretty much a stage that I didn't need to do. If I go back to clean up this model with some highlights, I think the eyes will go into a white colour. But we are nearing the end of the model. We got the Gravelord Grey coming up next. Gonna use that on the base like I do with all my models. Also hitting up this flying stand. Stand will take a couple of coats just to make sure it's not streaky looking. Right, final touches. Once this is done, we're gonna let it dry. Then I'm gonna finish the base rim with Abandoned Black. And then I'm gonna give the entire model a wash. I think we're gonna go with a dark brown wash over a black. We'll see what that does, and you'll see the final photo. Cheers for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the community tab and be ready to vote on the next miniature that I paint. Cheers for watching.